thing that we're going to see from Kei Nishikori is just the early strike tennis. He likes to stand right on that baseline, take the ball early, take time away from his opponent. Tommy Paul's going to need to try to look to get Kei on the move if he can. Don't want to let Kei Nishikori dictate for too long, but he's so good at it.
Yeah, it's such a difficult wind, and I think the chair umpire, John Blom, will be somewhat lenient on the service clock.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a few tosses that go up and just have to kind of retoss. Take your time in conditions like this.
So we're hearing the wind more difficult at Kei Nishikori's end. On the left, an Australian Open champion, of course.
Yeah, and the player right behind Thomas Johansson is Go Sueda. He, former top 100 player from Japan, there in the black sweatshirt. One of the Japanese coaches. And a big key when it's windy like this is trying to make sure you have a high first serve percentage, because once you're having to hit too many second serves in the wind like this, that's when it gets a little nervy as well. You're having to hit a few more serves into the body. Not as much pace as you're used to, it probably as well.
Let's for some.
Bit of a struggle. Players really trying to adjust to the difficult conditions wind-wise. Nishikori converts the opening service game. Well, the only time they met, Tommy Paul was a wildcard ranked 225 in the world back in 2017. Things have certainly changed quite dramatically for him. Came up in a golden generation of Australian or American singles players. And he was possibly out of the four big ones. Nick, am I saying he's a little bit slower to get to his zenith compared to the three others?
Yeah, you know, Tommy Paul's the same age as Taylor Fritz, Francis Tiafoe, Riley Opelka, and they've always kind of said that Tommy Paul is the most talented out of that group. It just took him a little bit longer to get there, but now he's been working with Brad Stein, Coach Jim Courier, #1 in the world. They've been working together for 6 years. The best game for Tommy Paul is coming out.
15 love.
Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer to learn how to become a professional, how to go week in and week out and stay the course. But Tommy Paul is the ultimate professional now. When I spoke with Brad Stein earlier today, he said, you know, we've been working together 6 years, and I call it Tommy 6.0, and he's becoming a bigger, more aggressive version of all-court tennis, looking to come forward more, staying aggressive continuously.
14.
Well, he had to survive a tense 5-setter against Chris O'Connell. From memory, a couple of injury timeouts in that match. How's his body reacted to that and the issues he suffered?
Game.
Yeah, there in that match against Chris O'Connell in the first round, he had a little bit of a left shoulder scare. It just seemed like it was like, wait a second, what's going on with his left arm? You know, when he went up for an overhead, it was hurting him, anything he was doing with the left arm. And then I spoke with Brad Stein. Tommy ended up getting an MRI. It showed nothing, just inflammation, which is a good thing. That means take a little Advil and get back to work. So hopefully he's ready to go. Such a great ball striker. Started playing tennis when he was 5 years old. And he ended up moving to Bradenton to train at IMG at the age of 14 years old. He's been there ever since.
Easy power off both wings, Kei Nishikori.
He does. And I think, with age, we talk about Kei Nishikori now being 35 years old, and I spoke with some players that have played against him lately, and they said, I think at the older age, he's looking to come forward a little bit more. He's actually playing more aggressive, just trying to maybe finish points a little bit earlier. Typically, when you're younger, you feel like you can extend rallies longer. You don't get tired. And not that he gets tired in matches, but he says, hey, you know what? I'm such a great ball striker. I look to come forward. And there we see Thomas Johansson, his coach, there in the gray sweatshirt.
On that, Johansson is good friends with Darren Cahill, who, of course, coaches, mentors Jannik Sinner, and he's been hitting with Jannik Sinner a lot. And he says even the occasional hit with Carlos Alcaraz, referring to Nishikori, and he says it's energized his, the Mark II of his career under Johansson.
Nishikori was a top dog for so long, and now he's bringing his ranking back. As we said, 76 right now, but being able to hit with those top guys, Sinner, Alcaraz, you see the pace of the ball that guys are hitting with nowadays, and that helps you know what you need to work on.
Missed. Well, you have to maintain concentration on that overhead. It was swirling. Not a difficult assignment tonight with this breeze.
Yeah, and again, that's a shot that not a lot of players practice, that overhead from the baseline. That's something that I tried to practice quite a lot just for doubles, and I feel like a lot of singles players need to practice that as well, just because we've seen 3 or 4 of them already in 2 games.
The direction of the ball flight, superb under pressure from Kei Nishikori. He holds for 2-1 in the opening set.
Time.
Seed Tommy Paul against the former US Open finalist Kei Nishikori. Early stages of this second round match. Really bright opening under difficult conditions.
15 love.
And as we spoke about before, Kei Nishikori training in Bradenton at IMG. Tommy Paul trains in Boca Raton, so he's also in Florida. Against Chris O'Connell in the first round, 5 sets. Tommy Paul, he's been focused a lot on his fitness. As you see here, extremely fit, works with a fitness trainer, Franco Herrero.
Fault.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like a cat on a hot tin roof, Nishikori at the net.
I mean, Kei Nishikori is saying, wind, what wind? I'm going to get to the net, be aggressive with my feet. And he is 5 for 5 at the net, is Kei Nishikori. Impressive. See Brad Stein in the white hat there. Been working with Tommy Paul for 6 years.
Going for his shots. Risk reward is certainly in the credit ledger for Kei Nishikori.
Yeah, and a smart play, right? When it's windy and the ball's swirly, you don't want to let the rallies get too long. You want to try to maybe play first strike tennis, get into the net. Kei Nishikori is definitely being the more aggressive player out here right now.
A couple of break points.
That's awesome.
The backhand, drawing the error and getting the important break of serve early in the match. Sustained pressure there from Nishikori.
Yeah, and you have to feel for Tommy Paul that the game plan coming out here was to try to get Nishikori on the move. You can't let him stand on his mark like he's doing right now, because if he's able to direct play, you better watch out. He can hit it on a dime anywhere on the court.
Love 15. Fault. Loved it.
Yeah, if there's any weakness in Kei Nishikori's game, it's maybe the second serve, because doesn't get a lot of jump on it, pretty predictable with his locations, and if players can jump on it, that's when he starts to get a little yippy.
I think Tommy Paul thought he'd won the point. Nishikori with all the balance and awareness and instinct at the net.
15-13.
Well, if you would ask a lot of the American players about Tommy Paul, they would say he is unbelievable at these little cat and mouse plays because he's so athletic. But right now, Kei Nishikori is outfoxing the fox.
Out.
Nishikori enormously in that rally, the net court. And the look says it all from Tommy Paul.
Yeah, Tommy Paul was definitely in control of this point, had the forehands that he wanted, just a little bit unlucky with the let cord. But Kei Nishikori, look how fast he got around that ball and gave himself a lot of space to get that arm outstretched to hit the winner.
Such a composed response, 130 down.
That's one thing that Tommy Paul's gotten really good at with Brad Stein is taking these returns early in the court, taking time away from his opponent, especially off the backhand wing. So a lot of players have started to try to serve the forehand more on second serves. But if Tommy gets a backhand, watch out.
Advantage, Nishikori.
He's worked these conditions out well. Obviously, it's a tactic to shorten the rallies and take your opportunities, push into court. That's exactly what he's doing.
Juice.
The approach shot gave Paul a look.
Yeah, that approach shot wasn't bad, but again, this is what Tommy's so good at, is when he's outstretched with his arms, he can hook it short angle, cross court with the backhand. He can also go down the line. That's the athleticism that he has. Tommy Paul with a break point here.
Clever use of the slice just to break up the rhythm.
Advantage Paul.
Kei Nishikori telling himself he was in a positive position there. Just hit the approach shot, make Tommy Paul have to come up with a pass.
Oh, absolutely going sideways, the ball at the moment. And Tommy Paul has got the break back. After a really
Nishikori leads 3
game for
games
both
to 2.
players, but it's Paul with games on serve. Nishikori leading by 3 games to 2. We were right behind that rally. It was incredible lateral movement in the ball without much spin.
Yeah, unbelievable side spin with the wind in that rally. It looked like Kei Nishikori's backhand was going to go in the alley and literally just hooked back into the court. Both players, great footwork to keep the point going.
Done.
They look like Stars and Stripes pajamas. It's the right time to pull that fashion statement out. Good evening in Melbourne. Getting towards the latter part of the evening, actually. In the early stages of this second round match. Games on serve, and Tommy Paul, the 12th seed, serving at 2-3.
I was able to speak with Tommy Paul's fitness trainer, Franco Herrero, earlier today, and I was asking about his fitness, how long was their preseason? And he said, actually, at the end of the year at Paris, in November, Tommy wanted to get right at it, so they went straight into 2 weeks of fitness. And then Tommy went to Davis Cup, and then after Davis Cup, only took 2 days off, and then went 5 straight weeks of preseason fitness after that. So he's got a full 7 weeks of fitness training under his belt, this Tommy Paul, with Franco Herrero there in Boca Raton. He's ready for a long battle if he needs to be. If there's one extreme strength of Kei Nishikori's game, it's the return. There's not really one side that's worse than the other. They're both just so good as far as a short backswing, forward through the court, a lot of pace behind the ball.
The needle. Tommy Paul.
30.
I think Nishikori thought he did enough with the volley, but Paul's movement was superb.
Yeah, I always tell players that the down the line pass is open quite often, because a lot of players volley and then they kind of just creep in the center of the court looking for the cross court pass. So if you can find the down the line pass, that's typically a good option.
40-30. Halt. Yes.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of free points when you're serving against Kei Nishikori. Makes a lot of returns. Ask the question of that +1 ball.
Halt. Fault.
For Tommy Paul, he's made 5 unforced errors off that forehand wing, only 2 on the backhand. It seems like Kei Nishikori is starting to target that side a little bit more when he needs a point.
Advantage call.
Great value of the wide serve in these conditions. Jumping off the court.
Yeah, it's so hard to read Tommy Paul's serve. He's able to hit every target with the same toss.
Lights for serve. Out.
That second serve in the hitting zone is prepared to push in and really ask a lot of Tommy Paul.
Yeah, you gotta somehow get the ball out of Kei Nishikori's strike zone. He's just so good at taking the ball early, getting it on you before you're ready.
Another dead net cord. 3 in the match for Kei Nishikori.
Yeah, and when you're Tommy Paul, you gotta just say, you know what, I hit a great shot. Nothing I did wrong there. Control the controllables, and you gotta move on to the next point. Kei Nishikori knows he got a little lady luck there. Now a break point.
Good response.
Yes. Advantage ball.
That's a big serve from Tommy Paul there. This is the first ace of the match. A lot of long, tough rallies here. That was needed.
Yes. Advantage Paul.
It was a struggle, but he's ruled off consecutive games to hold for 3-all. Of course, Tommy Paul was the top seed in Adelaide, lost to the Felix Auger-Aliassime in 3 sets in the semi-final. Had a couple of wins over Rinky Hijikata and Manuel Ginard. We know that Nishikori ventured to Hong Kong, made the final there. Had some big wins along the way. Beat Shapovalov, Hashanov and Norrie on the way to losing to Alexandra Muller in the final in 3 sets.
15 love.
And that was Nishikori's 27th appearance in the tour level final and his first since he won the title in 2019 Brisbane. Unreal dictatorship there from Kei Nishikori, right on that baseline, keeping Tommy Paul on the move. Didn't let Tommy Paul get set at all here. Great shape on the forehand.
Halt. 13-15.
Just Tommy Paul is so quick of foot. If you don't hit a drop volley good enough, he's going to get there, and had plenty of angles to work with.
Great movement by Nishikori to dig himself out of trouble and hold an important hold too, as he got the lead back 4-3 first set.
Nishikori leads 4 games to 3.
You gotta love the chants here in Australia. I think that's why when I played here, I loved playing the Australian Open. Just you feel so much energy. The fans are so passionate.
In these parts, they claim it's the sporting capital of the world.
Definitely, we feel it as players.
Fans trying to keep warm on a cold night in Melbourne.
Yeah, right now it's 68 degrees, excuse me, 63 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a chilly night. But these guys are just getting warmed up.
Yeah, negotiating pretty difficult conditions to produce a high quality of tennis to start this second round match.
Love 15.
And what Tommy Paul can't afford to do is just drop his guard. Know how uber aggressive Nishikori's been on the return of serve.
Fault.
Oh, and another one goes over for Kei Nishikori. You got to say you're sorry, but we're not really sorry when that happens. That's a big point right there. 15-30.
4 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. Big game this too. Well, he's converting less than 30% of his second serve points, Tommy Paul. Got a third strike opportunity then.
And Kei Nishikori changing up his return position on that second serve return. We saw the prior point on this due side. Kei Nishikori went pretty far back. That time he stood in, so he's trying to change up some different things on Tommy Paul to try to get this break. But Tommy was ready for it.
Catching the frame and having a little to do with it, but more the quality of strike from Nishikori.
Yeah, the quality of the depth there from Nishikori. So the depth and just taking time away, being close to that baseline, sets up a break point for Nishikori.
Well, he's made it. Drop shot wasn't good enough. Good disguise, just the wrong execution. And Nishikori onto it like a flash.
Yeah, once again, Tommy Paul using that slider, using the wind to his advantage. And this drop shot wasn't a bad play, but once again, so many players look to cover that cross-court pass and left it down the line open. You want to follow that ball just a little bit longer if you're Tommy Paul. Nishikori, 35 years old, still moving like a gazelle.
Yeah, the wheels are functioning. Thomas Johansson not giving too much away, looking more like a prize fighter. Nishikori serving for the opening set. Dictating the point and moving and pushing Tommy Paul all over the place on the baseline.
Amazing patience from Kei Nishikori. There were probably 3 or 4 balls in that rally that landed inside the service line where he might have been able to get in, but he just didn't feel comfortable enough. Waited for the right opportunity to hit a ball a little bit bigger to get the mistake.
He hits with a lot of shape, but has that ability to hit through the court as well, Tommy Paul.
Yeah, the 4th forehand winner there. He's got 3 backhand winners as Tommy Paul.
Fault. 30.
Third double fault so far of the match for Nishikori.
Fault.
Great point here for Tommy Paul. Oh, just too good. Those two defensive strokes to keep Paul on the rally were superb. Nishikori produced the goods with that backhand.
And not only that, to go for the line like Nishikori did, because the wind is actually going that way. So the ball's got to be absolutely perfect because of the wind angle going that direction as well. That's why Tommy Paul couldn't believe that it actually hit the line.
Fault.
Big, right into the corner, plenty of margin.
Advantage, Paul.
And a second break point in this ninth game that is now just a tick over 5 minutes old. Jumped up, the breeze did kick up, and Tommy Paul, the second breaking point opportunity, has got it back on serve as Nishikori at 5-4 in the opening set. Looking for a restring, and obviously commonplace for the players. And a difficult situation, cool conditions, probably wants a little bit more on the rackets. So that'll come back in about 15 minutes time if the stringers are on their game. Tell you what, the presentation of Melbourne Park is always on its game. Changing up the light display. It's a spectacular sight at night. It wasn't so a few hours ago when a mini storm hit. Looks like it'll be clear until the end of play. Let's hope anyway. Tommy Paul did well to break back with controlled aggression in the previous game, and now he serves at 4-5 in the opening set.
Thank you.
Such an interesting set of tennis, Nick, the way both players have negotiated the conditions, and tactically they the way they've approached the situation as well.
Yeah, there's so many things you have to deal with as players, right? Whether it's crowds and right now it's the windy conditions, and actually the wind has died down, and you can tell that by the shirts of the players. You don't see the shirt winding up on Tommy Paul's back or Nishikori, so it's actually died down a lot to where they're probably able to play normal tennis now. And you were mentioning Tommy Paul getting 2 rackets restrung. Typically when it gets cold like this, you want your rackets a little bit looser so that the ball will come off the racket fast and get deep in the court. As you see there, the wind has died down.
Game.
Exactly what he was looking for. A clean game. The machine doesn't lie, and yeah, it's caught the back end of the line. Nishikori saw it differently.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where players can't control that. Just got to get right back to work, still on serve.
Part of that was Nishikori reflecting on his opportunity to close out the set. Now he has to reset at 5-all. He's changed direction really well in this opening set, Kei Nishikori. It's not an easy task to bend Tommy Paul out of shape because he's a great athlete. Certainly Nishikori has the strike ability to do so.
Once again, Nishikori just taking so much time away from Tommy Paul consistently throughout this set so far. Now with the wind died down, that'll help him even more just to get that ball in his strike zone.
Fifth time lucky. That would have been greedy, wouldn't it?
Almost felt like that had to go over for Nishikori, right? He was 4-0 on the net courts, now 4-1. Even Tommy Paul has to have a little smile about that one. Tommy Paul 3 of 6 on his net points, 50%.
Becomes juice and things get a little tighter for Kei Nishikori.
We were discussing the amount of returns Kei Nishikori is putting in. Tommy Paul has been putting in 88% of his returns back in the court. So Kei Nishikori's been having to work really hard on his service games.
second serve.
Nishikori.
Catching frame. Sailing long. And Nishikori, after a struggle, holds and has a 6-5 lead in the opening set.
Yeah, that was a big hold for Kei Nishikori, being up 40-love, and Tommy Paul getting it back to deuce, and he felt like if he would have broke there, that could have been the set. But for Nishikori, what a great hold, way to stay positive within his mindset.
Time.
Tommy Paul, the first out of the chair, on his toes. Kei Nishikori had a chance to close out the first set, couldn't get it done. Let's see if he can dig into the service game here of Tommy Paul.
15-love.
Clean as a whistle down the tee. Third ace for the American.
$30.
Nice 1-2 punch here from Tommy Paul. Staying down on that backhand, redirecting, catching the outside part of the ball to bring it in.
That would have been interesting.
30-15.
I think I would have backed Kei Nishikori to get something on that, even though it struck the net if it got over anyway, but it didn't.
Yeah, and once again, you know, every player's looking to improve. Kei Nishikori being 35 years old, he's coming into that more than he probably ever has in his career, understanding that he dictates with his play so much, so why not get in? It worked for him there.
He's made it, courtesy of the net cord and a little recognition of such to Tommy Paul. It's such a big moment in the first set.
And it's tricky when you approach cross court as Tommy Paul did there. Just left so much court open for Kei Nishikori. And look how far inside the baseline he was. Almost near impossible to be able to get that volley if you go down the line with the pass.
Oh, very smart to let that bounce.
40.
There's no way he was taking that out of the air. That's 30 all.
Yeah, and I just keep watching Kei Nishikori as well, just seeing how many changes of return positions that he's showing Tommy Paul throughout this service game, trying to confuse the American if he can. But Tommy Paul's got a game point here.
Game.
Quite fittingly, we go to a first set tiebreak.
6-all tiebreak.
Looked at this matchup, there's always going to be an element of fine margin. Let's see who's first to blink in this 7-point tiebreak.
Vote. 1-0.
And Kei Nishikori almost can't believe he missed that forehand. It was right in his strike zone. He was able to kind of pick his poison of where he wanted to go. For Nishikori, that's the 7th unforced error off the forehand wing. Also has 7 on the backhand.
His backhand has just worked a treat under pressure in this set. A couple of excellent cross-court backhands to open up the court and then one to finish the point.
A lot of the $25 million in prize money that he's won, I venture to say that 20 million of it is on this backhand right here. The down the line just takes it so early. So pure from Nishikori. If you look at the career tiebreak records for these two, Kei Nishikori's in the positive. He's 142 and 99. Tommy Paul, on the other hand, is 64 and 71 in tiebreaks.
Well, the net court has been very kind to Kei Nishikori in the first set. 4 cold net cords, and that just popped up invitingly.
Yeah, the net cord can almost do no wrong for Kei Nishikori. It either falls barely over the net for a winner for him or pops up so he can get a winner off the forehand.
You get a great look at the shape of his ground strokes and the ability to change direction and trajectory. It's very impressive.
Yeah, and if you're Tommy Paul, you just got to reset here. Take your full 25 seconds. He was a little upset about the last net cord of how it just popped up for Kei Nishikori, and then he hit an unforced error there. Got to take his time with this next point.
A little jump up in anticipation from Tommy Paul because the response made him play another shot in that point.
Yeah, and what a great reset from Tommy Paul there. Making a first serve, then getting the short ball, not rushing it, giving himself enough shape. And Tommy Paul's got such soft hands on the ball that he could hit that one in his sleep.
Taking their time to change ends. Of course, it's on the umpire's discretion when they start the service clock, which is now. Just an example of the racket head control of Kei Nishikori. Had to adjust, cramped, manufactured a swing.
Yeah, it looks like Tommy Paul is, can't believe that Nishikori's making some of these shots, because it's almost Houdini-like with his racket head control, Nishikori.
The master tactician at work. Nishikori asked everything of Tommy Paul in that rally. 27 shots stretched the American to the limit.
5-3, Nishikori.
It was almost like Kei Nishikori had Tommy Paul on a string in the beginning of that rally, just moving him side to side. Tommy could not get off the defense. There for a moment, he had a little bit of offense, but Kei Nishikori took back the offense. And as you said, the tactician, Nishikori, 5-3.
Nishikori.
The big Japanese diaspora in Melbourne, across Australia. Some of the fans have made the trip from Japan. And now Nishikori has 3 set points. Couple now on the Tommy Paul serve.
Out.
Crunch. And there it is.
And first Nishikori.
Nishikori, almost flawless tie
7-6.
break. And he claims the opening set, 65 minutes, 7-3 in the breakup.
Wow, unbelievable tiebreak there from Kei Nishikori. For me, it was the calmness with which he played that tiebreaker. He just... Yeah, for me, what I'm going to be looking for in Tommy Paul is trying to take a little bit more initiative in the rally, a little bit more first strike tennis, not let Kei Nishikori step up and take things early here. Maybe even see Tommy Paul get to the net a little bit more as well.
Oh, the score shot, just all instinct, and they practice that a lot. The players these days, it is the defensive shot that gets them back into rallies.
Yeah, you have to practice that a lot as a professional tennis player now, because guys are hitting the ball so hard, you're going to get caught off guard and have to use the continental grip to get a little slice on it just to get one more ball back in play, and ultimately got the mistake from Tommy Paul.
Just missing. It is a free swinging Nishikori in this first game.
He almost can't believe he missed that one, because he's had to move quite a bit throughout the rallies, but that one he was able to stand there, wind up, and really could go anywhere he wanted.
Let's out.
Tommy Paul finished last year with 45 wins on tour. He had one more the previous year, but 3 tournament victories as far as tournament wins are concerned. His best season in 2024.
Yeah, that's a net play that I'm looking for from Tommy Paul. If you're in his camp, he's now 6 of 11 net points won. Kei Nishikori's actually come in 18 times and won 12 of those. So getting into the net seems to be the winning play at the moment if you can do it.
Yeah, jumping first serve, pulling
Game ball.
Nishikori out of court.
First game, second serve.
Comfortable hold. Yeah, when you consider 3 of his 4 tournament wins, Tommy Paul came in 2024. Stockholm in October beat Dimitrov in the final. Also had victories over Wawrinka and Kecmanovic. And Queens, he beat Lorenzo Musetti. Also getting there, wins over Corder and Draper. Beat Ben Shelton in the semis at Dallas before disposing of Giron in the final. So as far as tournament wins go and big moments, it was the best season Tommy Paul's had on tour.
Yeah, and you know, Tommy Paul is hungry. He's 11 in the world. He's seen Taylor Fritz now get up to 4 in the world, and they're very good friends. He wants to get right up there with Taylor.
Fault.
Speaking with a couple players that Kei Nishikori trains with at IMG and in Bradenton, they said he's such a modest guy. For a while, he used to drive an Altima, a Nissan Altima, even though the guy was making millions of dollars. And that's just how modest he is. He loves being in Sarasota because it's quiet. He can be himself and just train.
We saw a lot of that in reverse in the first set. Nishikori pushing Tommy Paul all around the baseline. That's what Paul needs to do a little bit more of in the second.
And that's the first strike tennis that you want to see from Tommy Paul. Trying to get Nishikori on the move, and then once he gets a ball, he can go for it. Again, the wind has died down, so now you're able to go for your targets a little bit more, able to go for the lines as well, if need be.
The crowd are getting right behind Nishikori when they can. Great atmosphere at 1573.
Yeah, great depth on that forehand from Tommy Paul. Nishikori missing that backhand and telling himself, I got to stay down on that shot. He pulled off a bit a little too quickly. And Tommy Paul's got a break point here.
Is that enough? Kept the depth up, maintained the pressure. And now there's a bit of scoreboard pressure on Nishikori because Tommy Paul's got the break and a 2-love advantage in the second.
Well, Tommy Paul turned his hat around backwards. He's got a pep in his step. He knows how important it is to keep his energy up. We heard a few more come-ons. He's letting Kei Nishikori know he's right here in this match right now.
15
He's
love.
bounced out of the toilet break he had between sets, and he's literally sprung onto court with a vibrant attitude, exactly what you would expect to see, but I'm sure Brad Stein's got a lot to do with that approach.
Yeah, and look, in tennis, every inch matters. Every little extra effort that you put running to the ball, outstretched, getting around the ball, that extra quickness matters every single shot. Tommy Paul starting to heat up.
New balls, please.
Breeze conspiring against Nishikori, and Paul's up for the challenge. 3 consecutive games and a 3-love lead, second set.
Time.
Japanese fans are rugged up, ready to go. Just try to hydrate and also support their man, Kei Nishikori, who's got a challenge on his hands. Down love 3. After claiming the first set, executing a superb tiebreak, serving with new balls, looking to get a foothold into this second set.
Hold. Love 15.
Yeah, Tommy Paul realizing he's got to play that first strike tennis, and now it's really starting to affect Kei Nishikori.
Oh, that's brilliant. Wow. Caught the back end of the line.
Love it in.
That is called talent right there, ladies and gentlemen. Just on the run, a quick flick of the wrist on this forehand. And on the lob, you want to try to get the ball up and down quickly. That's what he did there. One thing I noticed there in the last 2 points, Kei Nishikori serving and volleying, he's realizing that Tommy Paul is playing a bit faster, playing a bit more first strike. So he's saying, you know what, I'm going to get to the net before you can do that to me. I'm going to take it to you first. Wind starting to pick up a little bit, as you can see from the Nishikori shirt.
You can hardly believe the electronic call. And that was just maybe a little bit longer than the edge of a fingernail. A couple of break points for a double break to Tommy Paul. And that's not going to do it. Tommy Paul has played an exemplary second set so far. A double break, 4-love. And he's in the driver's seat. And the point I was making before, Nick, about Brad Stein obviously coaching such a physical player like Jim Courier, the #1 of the world. He likes those type of players, and in Tommy Paul, he's got the specimen, he's got the outline. He's now like an artist filling in his canvas, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure is. And when you have such a talented player like Tommy Paul, there's so many things that you can tell him to do. He's got such an all-court game. You know, you mentioned Brad Stein coaching Jim Courier to #1 in the world. He's also coached Pete Sampras, Michael Chang, again, Kei Nishikori's former coach and good friend. So many top players that Brad Stein's worked with. So when he says something, you listen.
Picked up his first service speed as well. A lot more vocal, just showing his opponent, showing the crowd he's up for the fight, Tommy Paul.
Halt.
Wow. That is the backhand of the tournament almost, in blustery conditions,
40,
taking
30.
one hand off the racket and ripping it up the line.
Yeah, he's probably got one of the best two-handers in the world currently, but he showed that he might have the best one-hander as well. That was nasty.
It's been all Tommy Paul in the second set. Double break, 5-love. And it's looking like it's going to be a set apiece pretty soon.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of players on the changeover having different methods to try to keep their blood sugar up. Earlier today, we were commentating the Riley Opelka match against Thomas Mahach. They were using gels, Cliff bars. See Tommy Paul more with the banana. These players know that 3 out of 5 sets is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So they got to keep all the goodness in the body.
Time.
Tommy Paul trusting his game. Stunning turnaround in the second set. And it's up to Kei Nishikori to get on the board to avoid the dreaded donut. Or bagel, depending on what part of the world you are.
A little bagel with cream cheese.
It's probably more officially a bagel, but we do say donut in these parts.
And Kei Nishikori knows, okay, look, I'm down 5-love. I'm not going to try to play long rallies or extended points here. He's going to look to probably serve and volley, get in if he can, shorten the points, try to save his legs for what's in the future.
39.
And if you hold, that's a bonus.
Also the pride factor of getting on the board.
Yeah, I don't think he's too worried one way or the other about holding. This is more about just short points, save the legs for what's next.
Oh, great stretch and awareness from Tommy Paul.
Yeah, Kei Nishikori just saying, okay, if you hit it in the corner, I might half run for it. That was too good there from Tommy Paul. See the coaching, Brad Stein in the white hat there.
Advantage, Nishikori. Fault.
A little short backswing there from Tommy Paul.
Oh, he's made another one. Wow. High part of the net. Great racket control. And now a set point for Tommy Paul. It is the Bagel.
Game and second serve.
He's cleaned him up 6-love in the second.
6 games to love.
Excellent standard of tennis from the 12th seed. 28 minutes. And it's a set apiece in this. Paul serving to start the third.
Out. 15 love.
Spoke about his change of approach, Tommy Paul. More first strike tennis. It's one thing to change up the tactics. It's another to consistently execute the way he did in that set.
Fault.
Yeah, well, I mentioned when I spoke with the coach of Tommy Paul, Brad Stein, he said, you know, they've been together for 6 years, and this is the 6.0 version of Tommy Paul, and it's being able to stay aggressive more consistently and trusting yourself, and that's what the 6.0 is. See if he can continue to do that now.
Fault.
Last year when speaking of Brad Stein, he said the 5.0 was Tommy Paul using a little bit more slice off the backhand, having a bit more variety. But right now he's got to get more to that first strike tennis, and he's seeing it right now. 30-15, keeping Nishikori on the move.
40-50. Halt.
Yes, guiding it into the open court. Comfortable hold. One love for Tommy Paul. The positive for Tommy Paul also is that not showing any signs of the shoulder, upper arm issues that plagued him against Chris O'Connell.
That's a very big positive. You know, when it happened against Chris O'Connell for Tommy Paul, you never want to see an injury with any player, let alone in the first round of a Grand Slam. But again, he got an MRI yesterday, didn't show anything, just inflammation. So it looks like it's died down.
Halt.
Well, Kei Nishikori desperately needs a response. Tommy Paul's reeled off 7 consecutive games. So we're entering into a danger zone for the Japanese superstar. Seems to have found his range.
Yeah, he sure has. And look, you know, as an opponent, you start to feel the intensity of the other player as well. You know, Nishikori realizes that Tommy Paul is all over the court. You look at Tommy Paul, he is locked in right now.
Out. He's making him work so hard for every single point. His output is enormous at the moment, Tommy Paul.
Yeah, and so much of tennis is sometimes outworking your opponent, especially in conditions like this when it's cold. You haven't really found your best early on in the match, but now Tommy Paul's just outworking Nishikori.
No, the 12th seed is relentless at the moment.
All these 2 games to lose.
He's hunting Kei Nishikori. 8 consecutive games and a 2-love lead in the third.
2 great adjectives you threw out there, relentless and hunting. That is definitely what Tommy Paul is doing right now. The intensity is through the roof for the American.
Relentless. Love. Halt.
It's a rare sight, I think, just a reflection of the frustration that Kei Nishikori is feeling right now.
Mr. Nishikori.
Remember, he was outmanoeuvring Tommy Paul in the first set, pressure moments, and he hasn't been able to lay a glove on his opponent in the last 8 games. Fastest serve of the match for Tommy Paul, 207.
Game 4.
We're seeing it like a watermelon, holding to love, and that's now 9 consecutive games on the bounce for Tommy Paul. 3-love set, third set.
Oh, I think Tommy Paul just kind of asking the chair umpire what exactly happened there with Nishikori when he hit the ball out. Why didn't he get a warning?
You can be defaulted. If the result isn't bad, there's no penalty.
So the action, it has nothing to do with the action.
It's about the result mostly, yeah.
And that's an interesting answer from the chair umpire, because I know that maybe I can speak from experience a couple times. If I've hit a ball out of the court, that's an automatic warning for sure for a player. But from the chair umpire, he said if something were to happen by hitting that ball out, then that would have been a warning. But typically it's normally an automatic deal. But Tommy Paul is in full flight. Just needs to keep focusing on his own game plan.
Time.
Oh, he's pushing him around at will. Talking about getting the ball on the string at the moment. Tommy Paul is in the zone, locked in, and there's very little Kei Nishikori can do about it at the moment.
Yeah, one thing, once Tommy Paul turned his hat backwards, it became game on.
Needs more of the first serve in the second set, just dropping that percentage to 50% mark. It's too good. He's reading the mind of Kei Nishikori at the moment.
Yeah, Nishikori almost can't find anywhere in the court that Tommy Paul is not able to react to. It's a tough position to be in as a player, but you just got to focus on the next point. Don't think about what's happened in the past. Tommy Paul showing that extra fitness that he got in over the preseason. As I mentioned before, he barely took any time off. Had about 7 weeks of fitness training to get ready for this Australian Open, and it's on display right now.
And he's found the corner, and with that, 10 consecutive games and a double break in this third set. It's one-way traffic, and it's all the 12th seed's way.
Yeah, Tommy Paul absolutely seeing the ball like a basketball right now. Sometimes you get in those modes as a player where you feel like you can do no wrong, but again, it became about the mindset. Once he got that mindset of I gotta play first strike tennis, and he stuck with it, you can see it in his eyes that he knows exactly what he wants to do with every single ball now.
Out. 15.
Played a bit quicker then. Nishikori with a rare first strike. And at 30 all, he's got a chance to get on the board in this second set.
Halt.
Acknowledged as such by Tommy Paul.
13-14.
Backhand rip cross court.
Yeah, once again, if you're Kei Nishikori, you just got to play 1 point at a time. Again, this is what he does best. You see him inside the baseline, taking time away. Again, you never know what can happen. If you get a break here, you're only down 1 break from there. Break point Nishikori.
Long second serve, and a gift there from Tommy Paul. So the nexus is broken. Nishikori on the board, but Paul with a break and a 4-1 advantage. I suppose you're hoping in that situation that your opponent's going to come off the board at some stage. And I think that's what Thomas Johansson was communicating to Kei Nishikori about a few games ago. Stay with him.
Yeah, you just got to keep playing, right? You know, when your opponent is playing at such a high level, that's what these top players do. They play at a high level for a long period of time. But you got to stay with him, and you just never know. You might get a hiccup. But if anyone knows that, that's also Kei Nishikori, former top 5 player in the world. He's seen about everything.
Time. 15. Out. 13, 15.
Nishikori being smart, just making first serves, trying to stay in the upper hand in these points, in these service games.
That's what he's done so well, the 1-2 punch. The shot to soften up Nishikori.
Yeah, I remember that's one of the shots that Brad Stein's been working on with Tommy Paul, the forehand on the run, taking it down the line. Tommy Paul normally likes to go cross court with that one, but that down the line was impressive there.
14-13.
Yeah, good use of the slice. Clever shot. And consecutive games now for Nishikori. There's signs of life from the Japanese superstar.
All leads 4 games to 2.
Yeah, Tommy Paul getting a fresh stick right now. Both players taking a quick second just to reset.
You've got to admire the tactic of Nishikori there. A couple of games attacking the serve. Not quite getting the depth he was looking for. Giving Tommy Paul another look.
What a slider there from Tommy Paul. Really catching the outside part of that ball. Making sure that it bounced outside the sideline of that box.
Out. Out. 13.
You don't normally see that from Tommy Paul. He definitely owns that kick serve on the ad side, just taking his eye off the ball a little bit too quickly when he hit that. See his coach Brad Stein in the white hat there saying, I've never seen him miss that serve.
Oh, yes. Big forehand gets the crowd going. And a break back point to get things back on track for Nishikori in this third set.
14.
Completely lathered that forehand cross court. somehow he's restored parity in this third set. Nishikori reels off 3 consecutive games.
Well, if there's a man that's been there, done that, that's Kei Nishikori. Former top 5 in the world. He's seen it all. So being 1-set all and down 4-love in the third, a lot of players would just go away and say, you know what, okay, I'll just get ready for the fourth. But not Kei Nishikori. He knows anything can happen at any time. And you have the young tennis players, even older tennis players watching this match right now. Just shows that with effort, keep fighting, you never know.
So,
Well, he's restored his own belief and the crowd's faith as well, Kei Nishikori. He's got them involved. It's pretty noisy at 15:73, getting towards the end of the 4th day's play.
love 15.
We saw the ball there in that rally, just the wind's picking up just a little bit. It's moving to the left of Kei, and you see him motioning with his racket there as if to say the ball just keeps moving. That's when, as a player, you really got to keep moving your feet. Saw there, it just stopped on him.
Now he's overcooked the forehand. Great defensive slice to stay in the point by Nishikori. Worked so hard.
15-13.
Yeah, that extra effort from Kei Nishikori to get that slice backhand in the court just somewhere. Because you never know if your opponent's going to miss the next shot. And sure enough, Tommy Paul did. Saves Nishikori for now.
Oh, wow, what a change of direction. Courageous shot at 15:30 down.
I mean, this crowd is absolutely erupting for Kei Nishikori.
Ladies and gentlemen, please control your emotions during the point. There's no calling out in tennis in the middle of the point, please. Thank you.
It's so hard for them to control their emotions. They're watching the Michael Jordan of Japan and Kei Nishikori right now, fighting for his life.
See that gust of breeze really funneling through the stadium court. Tommy Paul trying to puncture the momentum generated by Nishikori. There's a break point.
Extreme patience from Kei Nishikori right there. Had an opportunity to get forward. Waited for one more ball to hit even a better approach shot on this one down the line. Back to deuce.
Fault.
Just the change of shape off the ground by Nishikori.
Advantage, Nishikori.
Combining heavy topspin, hitting through the court. Surviving a break point. Now a game point to level things up in this third set.
Fault.
In these conditions, if your footwork's not dynamic, miss-hits can occur, and that's what we saw on that occasion. That's why he's on his toes now. Nishikori, second deuce of this game. Oh, brilliant. All-class Tommy Paul. A needle eye opening, and he's found it.
Advantage, Paul.
Unreal athletic movement here from Tommy Paul. The slice, the 360, and then getting around that forehand. Catching the outside part of the ball was massive. He knows how big that was. Laying up 4-love in this third set. And now has a break point to try to stay up. Absolutely unreal how much the wind picked up in that point. The ball kept moving to the left of Kei Nishikori, so he had to bring in his target. Both players having to deal with just gusts of wind throughout this game. 7.5 minutes in.
Advantage, Paul.
Break point number 3, and the arm wrestle continues.
Yes.
This time he was due one, that's for sure.
He was absolutely due one there early on in the match. Kei Nishikori had hit 4 let cords that went over before he had a 5th one that didn't. Tommy Paul was getting pretty annoyed with it, and now Tommy got one of his own to get another break point.
The 4th of this game. Return the favour, thanks, and make it 5 dead let cords, just cold winners.
Well, that's unbelievable. And now Kei Nishikori is speaking with Thomas Johansson. I saw after that let cord, Thomas got on his feet, wanted to speak to Kei. Kei went over directly, so let's see what play is called right here in this big important moment, deuce number 5. Thomas Johansson has something dialed up.
And there it is, the wide serve.
That was the wide serve. Thomas Johansson put it in both hands in the air as if to say, I think that was exactly what we wanted. A little bit slower wide serve to throw off Tommy, and then an inside-out forehand to get into the net. Will he go to the forehand again?
Yes.
Well, that's just a rally ball missed. So frustrating for Nishikori. The pressure.
He hits that backhand in his sleep. As you said, that's pressure. That's just a pressure moment because he can close his eyes and make that shot.
Fault.
And that was the wind dropping it short and making it very hard for Nishikori to adjust the racket.
Yeah, and that's where as a player, again, you try to use the wind to your advantage. You know, Kei Nishikori could hit a short angle cross court. The wind would take it for him. And now he's under the gun once again. Break point for Tommy Paul.
He's got it done, Tommy Paul. Nishikori sending the forehand long.
Leads 5 games to 3.
And the advantage back to the American 12th seed. Energy sapping game. And it really kills the momentum of Kei Nishikori in this set.
Yeah, he needs the fans to stay up for him, does Kei Nishikori. They were getting going. The mojo was back. And we'll see what Tommy Paul can do here.
Oh, wow. Open court was there, and somehow he not only got there, but controlled the forehand. That is a stunning shot by Tommy Paul.
Kei Nishikori saying, get in earlier in that rally. He had Tommy Paul running backwards 360 here around. If Kei Nishikori's at the net, it makes it very difficult to pass. But too good from Tommy Paul at the end.
30 love.
Amazing how big that first point is in a moment like this at 5-3 to get up 15 love. Start to feel so good about yourself.
Off the back foot, he's found the corner. And he's rediscovered the intensity in these last couple of games. Not that it ever really went. Nishikori did respond well after dropping 9 consecutive games. And now a triple set point for Tommy Paul.
Out. 40-15. Let's first.
Oh, ripping the forehand cross court. What a way to close out the set.
6-3.
Great display of shot-making ability by Tommy Paul. And it's 2-1 to the American. Provided some resistance, but now he finds himself down 2-1. I suppose the challenge for Tommy Paul, when you've been redlining, playing at the level he has, just to maintain that type of intensity.
Yeah, but I think for Tommy Paul, that's why he is 11 in the world, because he can maintain this type of intensity. He can play at such a high level and get to the top 10 and stay there. Nishikori, he needs a good start here. He's got the crowd behind him. He's been playing well, just didn't get off to a good start in either of the last 2 sets. But needs to try to get this first game to feel good about himself.
And we saw all his fighting qualities come out in the opening round 5-set win over Thiago Monteiro of Brazil. 2 sets to love down was Nishikori.
Bolt.
Nishikori with a solid hold. First game, first set. He was 8-1 in 5-setters at the Australian Open, so that's a positive that he can take into what promises to be potentially a marathon match on night 4. The only loss in a 5-set contest at the Australian Open was to Roger Federer in 2017.
Nishikori is 29-8 career 5-set record. He doesn't mind going 5, and if he does, he feels pretty confident in himself. Still a long ways to go, though, because Tommy Paul has been feeling it.
aggressive posture that I'm sure Thomas Johansson will be wanting to see on the return of serve from Nishikori. Stepping in, taking the time away from Tommy Paul.
Out.
Nishikori trying to change up the rhythm of that rally with a couple forehand slices, which we haven't seen from him throughout this entire match. But again, just trying to change the pace, the spin. Tommy Paul was not fooled. He is so dialed in. And for Tommy Paul, you want to keep this momentum, not give Nishikori any hope.
Out. 40-15. Game. One game.
Tommy gets it done. Get on the board in the fourth set. Here's the encouragement from Brad Stein. Also doing a little bit of commentary with us over the next fortnight.
Out. Out. Love 15.
It's the fourth double fault of the match for Nishikori.
Wait, please. Wait, thanks.
Definitely knows he's got to keep that high first serve percentage, because Tommy Paul's made 86% of his returns back in the court and really asked the question of Nishikori off that first ball.
Out.
And the more he's having to hit these second serves, Tommy Paul is able to try to dictate.
Just the physicality to get there, not only get there, but control the response.
Well, again, it's just the extra little effort, the extra little inch that Tommy Paul's putting in. You just see him outworking Nishikori right now.
Danger signs here for Nishikori.
Yeah, Tommy Paul really feeling like if he can get this point, this could be the match for him.
And that's the wide serve that Johansson called for, to get that to resurgence kicked in that third set. Didn't quite come off for Nishikori, but it's been an effective tactic on the deuce court. Still a break point for Tommy Paul.
Halt.
Oh, the ball's wobbling all over the place, like a scene out of the Matrix. And Tommy Paul has that break and a 2-1 lead in the fourth.
Time.
Tommy Paul in control. With a service break in 2-1, the fans are, despite the lateness of hour on this night 4 of competition, still vocal, passionate. They've invested some emotional capital in this match, that's for sure. Paul serving at 2-1.
We've seen how effective that cross-court forehand is on Tommy Paul's side of the court, because if he hits it cross-court, the wind is actually taking it away from Nishikori because the wind's moving that way. So anytime he can go inside in or short angle cross, that's going to be a good shot as you see the wind taking it.
Yeah, baby there from Tommy Paul.
Yeah, looking over at his coaching team as if to say, boys, I am locked in. Let's get this thing done.
Waited for Paul to commit. It's the experience of Nishikori coming through.
30-15.
See the way the ball just moved violently in the air. Certainly has a funnel effect. This court closest to the Yarra River and bordering Margaret Court. A gasp of anguish there from Tommy Paul. Nishikori working hard to get their service break back. And we know what a fighter Kei Nishikori is. Oh, wow. Small target, maximum result.
Yeah, Tommy Paul is absolutely ready for the fight. And again, threading the needle here. Nishikori did a great job of following the ball here at the net. Didn't have much space to hit into, but just hooking that ball around the outside.
Oh, and then picking a half volley off his shoelaces, controlling the response, and holding for 3-1. After Nishikori tried to turn the screws in that game, but has not been able to lay a glove on Tommy Paul.
Yeah, you know, Nishikori, he's been coming in, he's been effective coming in, but at this point, Tommy Paul off that forehand wing is finding down the line passes, cross-court passes. If I'm Nishikori, maybe I'm coming in more down the middle, giving Tommy Paul less angle to find. Wind starting to pick up now once again.
Love. It's okay.
Smart approach shot, not quite the bite that was required on Nishikori. The response was composed. And Tommy Paul just rolling the cross-court winner.
Yeah, once again, just having the angle. Tommy Paul's finding it.
Fault.
Fifth double fault. He's trying to stay loose and positive. Feed off the very passionate support he's received for this round 2 match. He's just been bent all out of shape by the weight of shot from Tommy Paul. Nishikori faces 2 break points. Disappointing forehand, shake of the racket by the 12th seed, and he races away with a 4-1 lead, 4th set.
Time.
Second round match. A player in the prime of his tennis life in Tommy Paul. 4-1 with a break. 7 years difference between the two. And it may be a situation in Monroe of both players faced a 5-set thriller in the first round. Tommy Paul's come through it. Probably benefited from the outing, but Nishikori perhaps not so over the distance.
The let cords are starting to go Tommy Paul's way. He didn't get any of them in the first set, but he's starting to get them now when it counts. But yeah, as you said, I'm going to have to correct you there. 8 years difference. That is a pretty big age gap, especially when both players had to go 5 sets to get to this second round, and just a little bit younger legs than Tommy Paul. Aggressive.
Let's whistle.
Tommy Paul just feeding off of the 7 weeks of preseason fitness that he did with his fitness trainer Franco Herrero in Boca Raton, looking fresh.
Steered wide, comfortable hold. And it's a commanding position. Tommy Paul finds himself in 5-1. Fourth set.
Yeah, both players going for a fresh racket with new balls. Fans hoping that Kei Nishikori can somehow find some magic.
Fans are calling for the Japanese tennis warrior to show his face once more in this service game. Resuming at 1-5.
Love 15.
And a display of pure ball striking. It's been highly impressive from Tommy Paul.
Tommy Paul putting on an absolute clinic towards the end of this match. Just winner after winner. You can see the fire in his eyes.
Out.
And seizing on any morsel of hope. Nishikori gets 30 all in this 7th game. back end of the line.
30-42.
Nishikori cannot believe his eyes. The sort of spots that this man has hit. And that searing backhand comes match point to Tommy Paul. Oh, rolling the cross-court forehand for the winner. And a signature shot to close out a commanding performance. At times exhilarating by the 12th seed, who's outclassed the former world number 4 and US Open finalist. Well, he made the semis in 2023. He may be destined to go deep into the second week of 2025.